Final round of the URC regular season is upon us. Before we look at the matchups for this weekend, we're going to have a quick look at the table and also have a look at the shields, because the Welsh Shield is still undecided, and that actually has a Champions Cup qualification spot riding on it for next season. So into the table first, got Leinster there at the top with 79 points. Can't be caught. They've only dropped that draw against the Stormers, unbeaten so far the entire season. Going to want to keep that up for the final round. It is a very young team, though, that they sent to South Africa. Next, then Ulster in second with 64. Third is the Stormers in 63. So Ulster basically have to match Stormers' result on the weekend to stay in second and potentially get a home semi-final if they make it that far. Glasgow then in fourth with 58. I guess they've got an outside chance of catching the Stormers for that third place, but when we look at the fixtures, I don't think that's probably going to happen, but there's still a possibility there for them. Same with Munster, outside chance of catching Glasgow for fourth place, although I think that the points difference for them is going to be a bit too much to make up, but they're there in fifth with 53 points. Connacht then is sixth with 49. Again, have a chance to catch Munster. They would have to get a bonus point win. But they'd have to get a win, right? And then, probably have to be a bonus point win because of the points difference, I think, for them. Then, and Munster not get any match points at all. The Bulls are next with 48 points in seventh. They've got a more realistic chance of getting over on top of Connacht if they get a win. Sharks in 8th on 46 in the last of the qualification spots for the knockout stages. At the moment, Bulls are in the last of the Heineken Cup qualification spots, so Sharks would like to get above them if they possibly could. Benetton down in 9th on 41 points. Again, a very, very outside chance of catching the Sharks. But I think that the points difference is just going to be too much for them to make up, even if they could get to the same amount of match points as them. Emirates Lions then in 10th place, kind of just jostling for position there, really, with Benetton and Cardiff and Edinburgh behind them. Cardiff in 11th place, 39. Edinburgh with 38. Ospreys 35 in 13th. 14th, Scarlets 34. Dragons adrift in 15th on 19. And Zebre rock bottom, as they have been for pretty much the entire season, on 10 points. Now, we are going to have a look at the shields because, as I said, the Welsh Shield still has something riding on it. Irish Shield there, you got Leinster on the top, no surprise there. Ulster second, Munster third, and Connacht fourth. As I said, only Munster and Connacht could possibly swap positions, but it'd have to take a big win for Connacht to be able to do that, I think. Next is the Welsh Shield. This one, we've got the Judgment Day going on at the weekend, so you got Cardiff there top. Next is Ospreys second, Scarlets third, and Dragons fourth. So Cardiff 39 points, Ospreys 35, Scarlets 34, and Dragons on 19 are there's no way they're going to win the Shield, but the other three all have a chance. Scarlets would have to get a bonus point win and hope that Ospreys beat Cardiff without Cardiff getting any kind of match points, and that also Ospreys don't get a bonus point. And then Scarlets would probably win the Shield just on, if you look at the points difference. Scarlets winning means that their points difference is going to improve. Cardiff losing means theirs gets worse. And Ospreys, there's, I think, too much of a gap between them and Scarlets for them to make up that difference with only a 4-point win. That means no choice bonus point, probably no big win for them against Cardiff. Cardiff, for them to win the whole thing, basically they just need to get 2 match points. So it could be a draw, it could be a losing bonus point and a try bonus point. Either way, if they get that against Ospreys, they're guaranteed to win the Welsh Shield and qualify for the Champions Cup. Obviously, anything more than that would be a bonus on top. Ospreys, basically, they have to get a bonus point win against Cardiff and then prevent Cardiff from getting any kind of match points out of the game, and then they would qualify. They could both finish in the same amount of points, like 5 points, let's say, for Ospreys to bring them to 40, 1 for Cardiff to bring them up to 40 as well. And Ospreys would have to win by a very big margin for that. So look at the points difference there. The difference between them at the moment is 35 points. So you're talking about Ospreys having to win by 18 or more points to make up that difference between them. And I think that might be a bit of a tall order for them, but you never know. Next then, the Scottish Shield, so Scottish-Italian Shield. Glasgow first with 58, Benetton second 41, Edinburgh third 38, and Zebre fourth with 10. So Edinburgh potentially could leapfrog Zebre and finish second in the Shield. Probably going to be, though, finishing in the order that they are at the moment. Then into the South African Shield. So Stormers there at the top with 63, can't be overtaken by any of the others. Bulls in second, 48. Sharks in third, 46. Lions in fourth with 40. So possibly the Sharks could overtake the Bulls. Obviously, it's more a case for them that they'd want to overtake the Bulls because then to qualify for the Champions Cup next year, rather than looking to overtake them to finish higher in the Shield. Now, let's look at the games that we have on at the weekend. So first off is Stormers versus Benetton. So Stormers have gone loss, win, draw, loss. So they've won 3 of their last 7 games, which for the Stormers is actually pretty poor form. Benetton have won 3 of their last 7 as well, which is actually an improvement in form for them compared to kind of recent times. But got to back Stormers, I think, with a home win there, and probably they're going to win fairly well. Benetton probably get a few tries and make it look a bit competitive early on, but I think Stormers will have too much of them. Next then is second place Ulster versus 12th place Edinburgh. So Ulster have won 5 of their last 7. Edinburgh only 2 of their last 7. And Edinburgh, other than getting that win last round, really, they have been dropping like a rock through the table. Ulster, as you can see, in pretty good form, won the last 4 in a row. Got to back Ulster with this one, and they're probably going to get that bonus point win, which will mean that they would actually keep second place and get the home semi-final ahead of the Stormers. Again, that's if they make it to the semi-final, because there's no guarantee that they're going to win their quarter-final. Next then is 10th place Lions versus 16th place Zebre. So Lions have won 3 of the last 7. Zebre have not won at all this season, and I can't see them winning here either. Lions very unlucky not to beat Leinster last weekend, and would expect them now to correct, kind of get back to winning ways against Zebre. Again, it could be kind of similar to, I think, what the Stormers Benetton game will be, that Zebre have this thing of going behind and then coming back at you. and then not quite like passing you out, but giving you a scare, and then you're pulling away. So I think that's probably what's going to happen with this, with the Lions to win pretty comfortably in the end. Next is seventh place Bulls versus first place Leinster. Bulls have only won 2 of the last 7. Leinster have won 6 of the last 7 and just that one draw against the Stormers. And obviously, they've won 16 from 17 this season. Although it is a very young team that have gone out there. They did the business last week against the Lions. I think it's going to be touch and go. This is probably the hardest one to call from the weekend. Like, my head is saying that the Bulls are going to actually win this one, but my heart as a Leinster fan is saying that Leinster can do it. So stupidly, I'm going to go with my heart and back Leinster for that one. Next then is Dragons 15th place versus Scarlets 14th place. So Dragons can't catch Scarlets. There's too much of a gap between them. Dragons have lost their last 7. Scarlets have won 5 of the last 7. So expect the Scarlets win there, especially seeing as they're still in with a chance of winning that Welsh Shield and qualifying for the Champions Cup next season. Next then we have 8th place Sharks versus 5th place Munster. So Sharks, they've won 3 of their last 7. Munster have won 6 of the last 7. Sharks, they've been decent form in the latter half of the season, but so have Munster. And I think Munster, after a good win last week, would be looking to make a 2 from 2 in South Africa, which would be fantastic for them for this season. And this one, I think I'm going to go with Munster to win this one as well, but I think it's going to be fairly close. Next then is 13th place Ospreys versus 11th place Cardiff. Ospreys have won 3 of the last 7. Cardiff won 2 of the last 7. Cardiff at the moment in that pole position to qualify for the Champions Cup next year. Ospreys probably in the better form of the two, though. I think we're going to see an Ospreys win, but I think Cardiff will still get enough points out of the game to actually take the Champions Cup spot. And the final game of the round is 4th place Glasgow versus 6th place Connacht. So Glasgow won 6 of the last 7. Connacht have won 6 of the last 7 as well. Connacht have actually won 6 in a row, which is very consistent for them. They were up and down earlier on in the season, but really seem to have hit a rich vein of form at the moment. Going away to Glasgow, though, could be a big ask for them. I think I'm going to back the home team in this one, but with Connacht getting something out of the game and enough to basically keep them in that 6th place and getting them I won't say easier, because when you're the away team in the quarterfinals, it's not going to be an easier one, but certainly they want to avoid Leinster at least, so they don't want to finish down in 8th place, and obviously they don't want to lose their Heineken Cup or Champions Cup, spot either. So I think Connacht will do enough to secure both of those. So that is the end of our previews for the regular season for the URC. Next week, I will be doing a stats video. Probably it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday, I would say, for the regular season. It's going to take me a while to put it together because URC do this stupid top 100 thing that nobody really pays attention to other than themselves. So I'm going to, collate all of this stats together, which is going to take a long time to do it. But then I'm going to have some interesting stats for you guys going to cover all of the teams in terms of how they've gone in their set pieces and etc. Through the year, and then pick out some of the top performers from different categories as well. Also this weekend I'm covering the Women's Six Nations. I actually put up a stats video on the Women's Six Nations as well. If you want to go check that out, that's on the channel at the moment. We'll have previews for all of those games and reviews of all the games. For the URC then, whatever games I can catch, I will do reviews of, and next week as well, we will have a wrap up of the regular season, so we can just kind of dot the I's and cross the T's on who has and hasn't qualified and in what position as well.